This is the Dulles Airport Metro Station, the closest station to my house. The Dulles Metro Station project was part of the Silver Line Phase 2 development, connecting downtown Washington, D.C. to Washington Dulles International Airport and their surrounding areas like Reston, Herndon, and Ashburn. Initial planning for a metro station at the airport started way back in 1969, nice, but formal plans were not made until 2002, with construction starting in the mid-2010s. Construction faced delays and the opening date was postponed several times, but the project was finally declared substantially complete in November 2021, and a year later to the month it opened on November 15, 2022, which I attended. The city's two major airports are now both fully connected to the region's rapid transit system, the DC Metro. The station features a 600-foot-long center platform and a custom design like no other metro station. The station's roof looks kind of like a wing, a bird's wing, or you know what makes more sense? An airplane wing. Once you descend into the station, you notice how modern and new the station feels compared to most other pieces of our United States public infrastructure. When I first descended those escalators, I felt like I could be in Europe or Asia with how cool and modern it felt. This was on opening day. It just felt fancy. The high ceilings and the colored lights and everything, along with the semi-dark vibe and the openness as well, on that cold November day, made for a really fun time. I'm glad they went with something cool and more futuristic feeling, because for many people, this is the first part of the real America they will see outside of the airport. So let's give them a good first impression. Once you exit the station, there's about a 5-minute walk to the main terminal, through these underground hallways with moving sidewalks. I also noticed how there were only 4 fare machines. This would be fine at a smaller station, but Dulles gets lots of visitors who have never been to DC before and will have to get a Smart Trip card. During busy times, these machines could get backed up, which would not be a great first experience for out-of-town and international visitors. The only major thing near the station is the massive airport complex, the runways, the terminals, the parking lots, the airplane hangars, and all the other infrastructure that's needed to connect Washington, D.C. to the rest of the world. That's all here, and the station basically just serves the airport riders and employees. There are 2 Fairfax Connector buses that are kind of connected to this station. They are at the drop-off and pickup area near the airport, and one of them runs to Reston about every hour, and the other one takes you to the Smithsonian, the Udvar Hazy Center, which is part of the Smithsonian Museum, and it's south of the airport. It's the only way to get around the $15 parking fee there. Take the bus. On screen here, you can see when the first and last trains arrive at this station depending on the day. Notice on weekends, the first train arrives at 7:43 a.m. from the city. This is not ideal if you have an early flight out of the airport. A $67 Uber is really your only option. If you walk from the Capitol building on a 5 p.m. on a weekday, you can expect to reach the Dulles Airport Station about 68 minutes after you started traveling by metro. Taking a car at the same time would be somewhere around 50 minutes. According to the Federal Bureau of Transportation Statistics, between February 2023 and January of 2024, Dulles had 15,100,000 passengers pass through it. According to WMATA, the group that runs Metro, there were 1,308,000 Metro entries and exits in the same period. This means around 8.7% of air travelers use Metro. Wait, that seems to make sense, right? The amount of Metro entries and exits compared to the total plane arrivals and departures, right? No, that includes airport employees who may commute by Metro and people who want to see their loved ones all the way to TSA. We cannot assume everybody using the Metro is getting on a plane. The real figure of aviation passengers who use the Metro is probably closer to 6, 7, 8%, just a bit lower than the easily calculated figure. The best way to figure out how many plane passengers actually use Metro is probably some sort of survey. In 2023, the station's first full year of operation, the station got around 1,800 entries per weekday. In 2024, there were 1,961 entries on weekdays, 1,785 on Saturdays, and 2,090 on Sundays. This makes it the first station I've covered that gets more ridership on Sunday rather than weekdays. This does make sense though, as Sundays is a common day to fly. The busiest day that this station has ever seen was Sunday, November 26, 2023, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, the holiday where the most people travel in the United States. And in 2023, around 10% of Dulles' entries were evaded, which is higher than I'd expect. Alright, let's talk about the pros and cons of the Dulles Airport Station. It's easier to get to Dulles Airport now if you can't or do not want to drive, and also pay for parking. There's possibly going to be less traffic on the surrounding roadways, especially around peak travel season. Taking the train is often cheaper than driving and parking, which is $14 a day at the lowest price at Dulles Airport. And it is also a nice first taste of the United States for foreign visitors. As you probably know, good infrastructure can be hard to find here. Like everything in life, there are also some cons. The ride from DC takes a whole hour, which, if you're just itching to get to your flight or get home, can feel like a slog. The walk to and from the station from the main terminal isn't too long, but it is an extra step that takes about 5 minutes. The trains only run every 10 to 15 minutes, which for the US isn't especially bad, but after a long flight, that could just be an annoying wait to have. Early flights from Washington, D.C. may not be metroable on weekends due to the first train from D.C. arriving at 7:43 a.m. This station's existence will most likely encourage more people to take transit to and from Dulles Airport from DC, and it will provide a cheaper and less stressful and more fun, for some people, connection to the DC area. I rate this station a solid 8 out of 10. For what it is, it's an airport station, it's nice, and check it out if you're ever coming to DC. Thank you very much for watching this video. I have some fun stuff in the works for the summer of this year. We'll see what happens, fingers crossed. And that's it. Have a great day.